restoring our environment, delivering quality services and infrastructure right across our state. All of our work over the last 6 months has been guided by this. We've restructured departments to home in on the delivery of our priorities. We've appointed 5 new Directors General to lead our talented teams across the public sector. We've worked with industry by convening the Economic Resilience Roundtable, a rich exchange of ideas for our state and the genesis of our plan to establish a Productivity Commission for Western Australia. And today, I want to talk about the second major response to the Roundtable feedback. And this is in the area of approvals reform. And I want to begin this discussion by posing a question to you all. What would you do if you could go back in time to set yourself up for the future? Would you go to the early 1980s and invest in Apple shares? Would you buy a house in the western suburbs when it was still a blue-collar area? Or would you simply bet on the outcome of the Melbourne Cup? With the benefit of hindsight, I'm sure most of the people in this room will be able to think back to a sliding doors moment, an opportunity that presented itself, whether it's in business or in life. But it seemed too risky, too bold, too far removed from business as usual. History is replete with examples of missed opportunities and sliding door moments, like Kodak not investing in digital technology to protect its film assets, the company that turned down the offer to buy Google for $1 million in 1999, or Blockbuster not recognising the turning tide as streaming was popularised and rejected a proposal to buy Netflix. Whether you're a politician, business leader or a parent in the suburbs, I'm sure we all have opportunities we rue not taking to this day. As Premier, it's my job to think about how Western Australia can embrace the opportunities that will set us up for the future, to ensure future generations are not left ruining the chances that we didn't take today. If we look at history, each of our economic breakthroughs came with an element of risk. Not recklessness, but calculated risk. Agriculture, the gold rush, the start of iron ore mining in the Pilbara, our first exports of LNG to Japan in the 1980s. Government was a key enabler to these industries, which continue to generate prosperity for Western Australians to this day. We have a proud history, punctuated by these clear economic chapters. And today, we're at the edge of a new chapter. This chapter will be defined by the clean energy transition and our growing role in defence. It will be defined by the extent to which we secure Western Australia's role. Now, recent years have been characterised by high levels of geopolitical tension and global trade uncertainty. But through the fog, Western Australia's strategic importance has been clear to see. Our position as Australia's gateway to the Indian Ocean, our possession of virtually all the rare earths and critical minerals known to humankind, our political stability and reliability as a trading partner, and our proven history of developing projects of massive industrial scale. Our state has an extremely impressive CV, but as you know, past performance is no guarantee of future success. The world has changed. Unlike the previous economic chapters, countries are competing for capital like never before. Yes, an impressive CV is just part of the equation. But, like us, our competitors are also offering incentives. Like us, they are also improving infrastructure. And like us, they are all developing skilled workforces. But a key variable across jurisdictions is approvals timelines. In their very fine book, Abundance, Ezra Klein and Derek Thompson, talk about the relative success of California and China in building high-speed rail. They say that in the time it took Californians to fail to complete their 500-mile high-speed rail system, China built more than 23,000 miles of high-speed rail. Now, I know Western Australia is not China, but this example illustrates the decisiveness we are competing with across the globe. It's often not one fell swoop that kills an opportunity. It's death by 1,000 cuts. Collectively, this maze of process compounds risk, all without a line of sight of where or when it might end. Delays kill projects. To be competitive, governments need to take an economic opportunity and run with it. I can't let WA be a laggard. I won't allow WA to be the policy equivalent of a long-abandoned blockbuster video store in the suburbs, holding on for dear life to the old ways of doing things. Instead, we need to lay the groundwork for the kind of jobs and prosperity that we want for our future. And that brings me to today's announcement. This week, I'll be introducing into Parliament the State Development Bill. The bill is the latest and likely most significant step towards streamlining Western Australia's regulatory and approval system. In recent years, we've made progress. Sweeping planning reforms, extensive environmental approval reforms, more dedicated staff to approvals, and we appointed a Coordinator General. These differences have made a big difference. But we need to build on this momentum to ensure that Western Australia is ready to seize the three big opportunities in front of us. They are to get out of coal-fired power generation faster than any other state and set our economy up for success in a world which is decarbonising. To support our major trading partners to decarbonise by producing critical minerals and downstream products like green iron. And thirdly, to become the largest naval shipbuilding and maintenance hub in the Southern Hemisphere. For decades, we've relied on state agreements to facilitate and secure major projects. The first, in 1952, underpinned the development of the Kwinana oil refinery. Further state agreements were used to develop world-class projects in iron ore, alumina and LNG. And over the past 7 decades, there have been around 70 state agreements, each requiring an act of Parliament. Our economy was quite literally built off the back of these state agreements. Billions of dollars invested, hundreds of thousands of jobs created. But we're now at a point where industry needs are changing. Projects are simultaneously becoming more complex and often smaller in scale and more nimble to meet increasingly volatile market conditions. As a result, use of state agreements have dwindled. Square peg projects are trying to fit into round hole processes. In response, government must create a more stable and attractive investment environment for these emerging industries. A more modern and agile framework is required. The State Development Bill will transform the way we develop industrial land and deliver transformational projects in WA. In 2023, I created the role of the Coordinator General. With the State Development Bill, I'm giving the Coordinator General teeth. A core function of the Coordinator General will be to identify industrial precincts and projects that are significant and urgent, and then make recommendations to me as Premier. I will then be able to consider and declare these projects state development areas or priority projects. which will then unlock a range of tools that the Coordinator-General can use to coordinate, simplify and fast-track the approvals process. For state development areas, the Coordinator-General will work with other agencies and GTEs to develop a state development plan, aligned with the government's vision for that state development area. The Coordinator-General will then coordinate regulatory approvals and common user infrastructure delivery in support of that plan. To assist this, the Coordinator-General will have the power to request information from government agencies and GTEs, as well as issue due regard notices to ensure the intent of the state development plan is taken into consideration into planning and approvals processes. For priority projects, the Coordinator-General will have information and due regard notices, as well as 3 additional tools at their disposal, including timeframe notices, joint decision notices and modification orders. For a priority project, a due regard notice can compel a decision maker, whether that's a minister or approval agency, to consider the full range of environmental, social and economic factors permitted within their act. Where a factor is not contemplated within an act, the decision maker may agree to make their decision in partnership with the Premier so the broader range of issues can be considered. And under a joint decision notice, enabling them to take into consideration a wider range of benefits. Timeframe notices will be issued to decision makers, requesting them to complete their work as it relates to a priority project within a specified timeframe. Timeframes notices could also be used to align and consolidate multiple public consultation periods across various acts, reducing exhaustive and excessive consultation processes. And finally, modification orders may be issued when the Premier has consulted the relevant decision maker and it is clear that we need to modify the process to get regulatory approval to get high strategic value projects started faster. To provide transparency and safeguards on their use, modification orders must be tabled in Parliament as a disallowable instrument. Look, these are significant powers. They are the biggest reform to our state development framework since our first State Agreement Act was passed in 1952. They're not about reducing standards, they're about improving processes. And they'll be reserved for our most significant strategic opportunities. Other major private sector projects will continue to be coordinated by the Department of Energy and Economic Diversification and with the continuation of the lead agency framework. And these projects will benefit from an additional round of project approvals reform that we are working on and we will be announcing in 2026. But some opportunities will not wait. Through the clean energy transition and our defence industries, we have incredible opportunities to diversify our economy, make more things here and keep Western Australia the strongest economy in the nation. But to do this, we must be a global leader in investment attraction, industry facilitation and regulation. Global capital has many places to go, and it is time sensitive and impatient returns. So we have to roll out the carpet, the red carpet for international investment. We need to be able to move nimbly and quickly to seize the big opportunities in front of us. Getting out of coal-fired power generation faster than any other Australian state and setting our economy up for success in a world that is decarbonising. Supporting our major trading partners to decarbonise by producing critical minerals and clean downstream products like green iron and becoming the largest naval shipbuilding maintenance hub in the Southern Hemisphere. These are the opportunities in front of us now. But to seize them, we must act now. Delay is not an option. Industries will gravitate to the jurisdictions that want them there. The government I lead has made it clear we want economic development. We want the jobs and we want the business opportunities that come with it. We want a strong economy that enables us to continue to invest in the infrastructure and the services our state needs. Look, I accept there will be opponents to this legislation. That's not in question. But it boils down to this. Do we want to keep creating quality jobs and business opportunities in an increasingly competitive world? Are we going to get out of coal-fired power generation and transition to renewables, or just shrug our shoulders and say it's too hard? Are we going to be a leader or a follower in critical minerals and green iron? Are we ready for naval shipbuilding and maintenance to become our second biggest industry? Do we want to take our state forward to 2050 and beyond with optimism and confidence? Or do we want to leave future generations to create their own opportunities from a standing start in an increasingly volatile world? The State Development Bill gives us the opportunity to ensure that Western Australia's best days are in front of us by providing the public sector with the tools to welcome investment rather than to look at it suspiciously. 2050 isn't that far away. The State Development Bill provides us with our own sliding doors moment. In 25 years, I hope to be able to look back with pride at the Parliament acting as one to support legislation that will unlock the opportunities for the clean energy transition and our defence and the opportunities our defence industries present. Where we recognise the moment, took a bold step forward and embraced the opportunities before us. The system of state agreements has served us well since the 1950s. The State Development Bill is about creating quality jobs and business opportunities to 2050 and beyond. Earlier in this address, I asked you to think back to a missed opportunity. And now I ask you to think ahead. Imagine a future where your kids or grandkids ask why renewables were not embraced or why we didn't fulfil our potential with AUKUS and defence. Then imagine having to explain that it was bogged down in process, or that proponents got fed up and took their money elsewhere, or basically that we missed the opportunity. Not on my watch. We have a proud history of delivering major projects in this state, and we can be even bigger in the future. The opportunities of the global energy transition are in front of us. The opportunities of AUKUS are in front of us. We have the opportunity to bring manufacturing back to the heart of the WA economy and put pride into the words "Made in WA." But these opportunities won't fall into our laps. We have to want them. We have to seize them. And the State Development Bill will give us the ability to get things done.